Secret Invasion had the potential to be Marvel's best Disney Plus show. Unfortunately, I don't think it's reached that potential at all. Here's my review. First of all, getting into what I liked about the show, I love Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. I always have and I always will. Even if you put him in the worst project and the worst movie or the worst series ever created, I'm still going to come out loving him. I think he's great here, and it is great to kind of spend some more time with him, especially since he's been quite absent since Infinity War. And alongside him, they've introduced new characters such as Sonya, who I absolutely loved here. She was played by Olivia Colman, and she's so funny. Like, she's really funny. I think it's in episode 5 she has some really, really great comedic moments, and I think she's a great addition to the MCU, and I can't wait to see her again. Also, Gaia is Talos' daughter, played by Emilia Clarke. Everybody kind of thought that by episode 3 they had wasted this character. No, they haven't. I think by the finale we've all seen what Gaia is capable of and what pedestal they're putting her on, because let's not beat around the bush here. I think after Secret Invasion, Emilia Clarke as Gaia is now the most powerful being in the MCU currently. Emilia Clarke gets nearly every single Avengers powers. We see that Gaia's powers are simulating Captain Marvel, Mantis, Drax, Cull Obsidian, even Thanos, and there's even on the screen you can see she has Thor's powers, Winter Soldier's powers, Groot's powers. Every single Avenger and enemy, etc., that spilt blood in the battle in Endgame, she has their powers. That's mind-blowing. Like, that sequence with Gravik was epic, and obviously Gravik becomes the Super Skrull and he gets all the exact same powers as Gaia, and Gaia beats him. And I think that fight was one of my favorite fights on any Disney Plus show, but it was very rushed, and I was loving it, and I was like, holy shit, and I was right into it. And then I felt like it was over very quickly. And I have to say, it is quite frustrating when you build up a really good villain like Gravik, who I have to say, Kingsley Ben-Adir was a really good villain in this show, and especially in episode 6 when you see him talking to Nick Fury, who turns out to be Gaia in disguise. And even the way he grabs Nick Fury's head at one stage and he's like, look at me. And I was like, this is a great performance. This guy is really going for it here. And he was menacing, but he fights Gaia and he dies straight away. I am the biggest Marvel fan you can probably see. I'm wearing an Avengers cap. I have Moon Knight posters, Guardians of the Galaxy. The whole rest of my wall is Marvel posters. It's gigantic, but you can't see it. And I will always try and find the best things to shout about Marvel, even if it's a dumpster fire. I really do always try and hype it up and build it up, because I am a fanboy. I'm sorry, I am a fanboy. I can't deny it. But this show just really let me down. So let's get into what I didn't like about the show. I just found it underwhelming as a whole. Every single episode I was like, okay, yeah, that's a cool moment, but then it will end and I'd be like, okay, next week is when it picks up. Next week is when it's gonna take pace. Next week is when we're gonna see X, Y, and Z. And it never happened. And yeah, you can blame that on me having too high of an expectation, but this show was meant to be, and I think it was Kobe Smulders, who plays Maria Hill, quoted it as the first Disney Plus massive crossover, like the Avengers was when it came out in theaters. And I was like, oh, okay, we're going to see a lot of cameos, we're going to see some more Avengers. Nah, they just weren't here. And the same thing happened with WandaVision. Everybody thought that Doctor Strange was going to show up, and then in other shows we've all thought that other characters would show up too. But this one, I really did have a feeling that there would be more characters involved, especially since the comics is a massive Avengers event. Just let me down. It really did let me down. And of course, I was falling into the trap of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Daisy Johnson and Quake and all coming into it. I was expecting it, but didn't happen. So this is a shame. My own fault. The 6-episode format of Disney Plus Marvel shows needs to go, and I think this is the final straw of it. I really do think that the first 2 episodes actually are like 54 57 minutes, and it's like, great, that's fantastic. We have some great length episodes here. Everything after that, 37 minutes, 30 minutes, 34 minutes, and you're taking up about 4 or 5 minutes of that runtime with credits, intros, recaps. It's not good enough, and it really is. Everything is rushed, and they really need to just take their time with it. Take the approach that they're doing with Daredevil. Make an 18 episode, make a 12 episode season. Don't rush it into 6 episodes. We're past that now. It's getting to a stage where every time a new Disney Plus show comes out, were like, right, that was a bit of a fail. The next time we're going to learn from it. They're not learning from it, and they need to, because people are really going to turn off these shows fast if they don't fix the problems that they have with it. Overall, I thought the show lacked action, and there's not going to be some people that are like, good, I'm glad it didn't have much action. It's a spy thriller, it's a talkie show, and it's politics, and that's it. But no, like, come on. Secret Invasion, they can be different Avengers, they can be different anyone that they want to be, and they just choose to be one or two people that we already knew they were going to be. And Rhodey as a Skrull was not a big twist. Agent Ross as a Skrull was not a big twist. And these were on the poster, they were in the trailers, and everybody straight away was like, they're going to be a Skrull. And there was no one else that showed up across the entire show that came into the show and made you be like, oh, are they a Skrull? Or, oh no. The only major cameo was the dude from Black Widow. And let's be honest, no one really cares about that guy. And there was so much other stuff, such as a lack of twists, like the ending. There's no even post-credit scene. And I know for a fact, there's going to be some of you in the comments that are like, oh yeah, every Marvel person just wants a post-credit scene and massive cameos. It's not always going to happen. Yeah, I know. But every single Disney Plus show, it's like, right, yeah, this person's going to show up, it's going to lead into this and X, Y, and Z. It's barely happened. And maybe we just need to lower expectations as a whole. Fine, but still, you hear about the budget that goes into these. You hear about how it's going to connect to all of these different things. And like, there was, in my opinion, quite a very bad ending and a rushed ending and no post-credit scene to really tease where this is going next. And if you're actually going to be honest, the ending of episode 6 seems like the show should actually really only be beginning. That is how bad of an ending it has. The president says that, he's going to execute all Skrulls, and there's hit squads out to wipe them from the planet. There's your show right there. I mean, like, this should have been the back half of the season. It should have been this moment where it ends, where the show ends, being the ending of the first half of the season. And the back half of the season can deal with the fallout of humans knowing that Skrulls are around them, trying to hunt them down, Fury trying to be the peacemaker between the two. Yeah, okay, it might continue in different movies, it might continue in different shows, but it's just becoming really frustrating that they're just like dangling a carrot there in front of us, and then right when things get good, they just yank that carrot away. And then we're left with no carrot. And overall, unfortunately, I have to give Secret Invasion 3 stars, a 6 out of 10. Now, you're probably like, whoa, you've just ranted for how many minutes, and that's what you're giving it? That's a really good score. But trust me, in terms of me being a massive Marvel fan, anything below 4 stars means that I didn't really enjoy it, and I'm let down. And maybe when I watch it again, I'll feel different about it. Since all the episodes are out, I might binge them again. But this is something that I think Disney Plus needs to think about, and Marvel needs to think about, whether they just drop everything at once, because if that's the case, then people can binge it all, and then if it's a letdown, they've forgotten about it, instead of teasing us every single week that someone's going to show up or something's going to happen, and it doesn't happen, and then we sit there after wasting a half an hour of our time and then come back to be let down again the following week. But anyways, I did like the show in certain aspects, and I really do hope that it expands over time into different shows and movies, and that they don't leave it so long to really pick up the pieces of this, because honestly, I think this is a massive plot that they've just left dangling there, and hopefully in Armor Wars and the Marvels and other shows coming forward, they can tie all those loose ends up, because I do feel like there's a lot of them. And if you've seen it, let me know. If you don't plan on seeing it, also let me know, or just what are your thoughts about the show as a whole.